Hi, this is Attila16, and this is a video where I present the game Stronghold Crusader 2, which is a game I've been playing a little during the last month. I've been so busy that I haven't had the time to make videos of it yet. So I'm presenting this to you, and I will show you a little what it's about because as I was playing this, many people asked me if it was any good. So I will hopefully give you the tool to have an opinion on that. So this game actually has single player, load game, which is not a game. It's more like a loading of a game in single player. Then you have a multiplayer, and then you have extra. Then you have a few options, not that much to adjust in there. It's a pretty smooth game overall. There's only when it's saved that it takes sometime a little time, but other than that, it's pretty smooth, and I think it likely run very well on no matter the computer. So here you have some tutorial, you have a learning campaign, and the way it works is that it's like a chain of mission or maps that progress the complexity essentially from one another. There's a kind of small story about each of them, but it's mostly a kind of progression in difficulty. You also have, you have a learning campaign, as I showed here. You have a skirmish trail, which I started. What I find a little sad is that you actually have to unlock the stuff, but I guess that forces you to do them all in order, so you cannot really complain about a mission being too hard because you skipped all the previous one. So that's probably a good choice that they did, but it's a little sad that you do have to unlock them all. Then you have some custom skirmish, which I believe is pretty similar to the multiplayer. And as you can see here, there's actually a very large amount of maps you can play in. And for example, here you have different fort, which are neutral as far as I understand. I haven't tried all those maps. So you can capture them, or they will provide some position while you build your empire, essentially, or they might keep you and your enemy separated for a while. But they are neutral, so I doubt that they actually attack you. Also, there's a couple of potential enemies like wildlife that might attack you on the way. So I'll show you that in a short moment. So what I'll do here is I won't do a complete round because I think this is a video which focus mostly on presenting to you what this game is about. So I will show you one mission where I'm rather advanced, and it will allow me to present you pretty much all the content as far as I know. So it's called My Town. As you can see, the loading, sometimes it's more or less long, but it's reasonable. And there we go. So this is actually my castle. As you can see here, it's a pretty simple castle, yeah. Here I'll show you the units first. But this game, I will compare it to a kind of a settlers game, but it's not really that. It's more focused on building a fort, managing economy, and sieging the enemy, or defending yourself against a siege potentially. So that's the main focus of that game, and you have a lot of units to take care of that, but what's the most important part of this game is really the economy. So as you can see here, I do have a lot of building. Each of those buildings, you actually build them using the menu here. So you have industry building, you have food building, town building, military building, castle wall building, or castle wall. Then you have castle defense. So you have a good diversity of things to build, and each of these can be built on specific territory. So for example, here you have a kind of a green territory. That's where you can build your farm, which will provide food for your granary. Then here you do have some wood camp, but here there's no trees around because they were all cut. But I'm sure my woodcutter are going all over the place finding some wood, which is starting to be rare because this game has been going on for a while. And also you have different resources. For example, here you have wood, stone, iron, pitch, wheat, floor, hops, I don't know, hills, and candle. And all these, actually having these resources allow you to produce stuff, and having different type of food. For example, here you have different type of food which you can get. You have apples, cheese, meat, and bread. And having a lot of food here allows you to have some level of happiness, which attract people into your town. And the resources allow you to build more buildings. So, for example, here I don't really need anything anymore to build, but I guess I could build that. So an apothecary. Let's build that. I do need. What do I need exactly? Let me verify that. I need wood. I guess first of all I should probably remove my selling of wood, which is what I'm doing right now. So I'm buying on the market 200 wood, and now I can build an apothecary, which will likely make my people more happy, which seems to be the case. And it will also cure any disease that the siege might produce. So there's multiple things to build here. You can see here also a cathedral, or church actually, which allows you to increase happiness and attract people. Here I have a inn, which allows me to attract people as well. Here you have the barracks, where I can produce a lot of troops, as many troops as I can have civilians here. Then you have the armory here, where I have all the stuff I produced in those small shops. Here you have a mercenary camp, which allows you to produce some specific units, which I'll show you later. Here I have a small candle fabricator here. Here I have a siege camp, which allows me to produce siege material to destroy the enemy walls. And of course here you have a lot of building, which are house. So with these house you can increase your population. Here I have some a stable, which allows me to mount a few troops on horse. Some elite troops, I should specify. Then here you have my entire neighborhood of producing weaponry. And as you can see in the armory, I do have a lot of weaponry. I'm even selling some. So you can build Fletcher, and you can build, these are breweries here. So here Forge, Armorer Workshop, Fletcher Workshop, Weaponsmith Workshop, Armorer, Blacksmith. And it's important to have a large diversity of building like this, because for each of these soldiers here, you will need, for example here, to build that kind of soldiers, you need 150 gold, and you need 100, actually not 100, but you need 1 armor and 1 mace. While here, for example, this is a bowman, a ranger, which require 1 bow and 1 sword. So the crossbowmen need armor and 1, I guess, arbalister or something like that. Crossbow, yeah, that's the word, sorry. Okay, so essentially you can build all this, and you can build yourself a pretty impressive wall. But depending the scenario, it's not necessary to make such a big castle. Anyway, castle. It's let's say that I build that wall just for the look of it, and you can even see that there's a hole here, and the AI will not take advantage of this. And usually in most cases, just actually building one single wall with a few towers with a lot of bowmen and crossbowmen on top is sufficient, like you can see here. Now, I also did build a few ballista, and these are defensive siege equipment, I suppose. So you can see that here. You can build a barricade, so like this, that will provide some protection for your soldiers if you send some out. Then here you can build those protection for your troops. I probably should not fire that. And here you can build a cage for dogs. Now you can see actually my troops killing a few enemies that came by. And actually each troops have some specificities. For example, bowmen, they fire far and fire a lot, but if you shoot against armored unit, you will not kill much. While crossbowmen, they don't shoot far, but if you shoot armored troops, they will kill them rather quickly. So it's a good idea to make a good mix. Also, rangers here, the white guys here, they have a sword, so they can fight in close quarter. But let's actually present them to you here. So here you have a you have a conscript. This guy is pretty fast. He has a club. He's not really good at anything, but I guess if you have no money or no weaponry, you can build a lot of them quickly, and he can slow down the enemy or attack the walls without you caring much about their survivability. Then you have, what is that? Men-at-arms. These guys, they have a spear. They can throw it sometime, and they are pretty fast, but pretty light also. So they die quickly, but they can be useful in many contexts. Then you have a pikeman, which is heavy. It's not that deadly, but I guess it's good against light troops, and it can endure a lot of arrows for a long time, but it's kind of slow. Then you have Maceman, which is a super fast unit. It's pretty good at charging stuff. It's rather practical. Then here you have your swordsmen, which are like your main battle unit, I suppose. And they are very slow, but they can resist a lot of firepower. Here you have your Templar Knights, which has a mace. It's very powerful, but very slow, but they will resist a lot of arrows and bolt. Here, what is this? This is a Sergeant at Arms. Now this guy, he's a strong unit, but the main interest is also that he will boost the armor of the troops around him, so that can be a good thing. Now here, that's a Knight Templar, but mounted, so you need a stable to actually mount them, and that means they are not that good to siege stuff, but they can be good to intervene and slaughter enemy bowmen. Now this guy here is actually the Lord, so this guy, if he dies, you lose. But he's also a really strong unit, just don't bring him to a siege, essentially. Now these are bowmen, very fast, lightly armored, fast rate of fire, but against armored unit, they are nearly worthless.
What's afoot, sire?
Here, that's a ranger. The rangers, they have a sword, so they are able to fight in close quarter. They're not that amazing, but they are a little better than regular bowmen. Crossbowmen, they're slow. They shoot slow, but for defensive purpose against armored unit, they are really good. Okay, here, these are actually mercenaries. I'll show you the mercenaries. Well, you build that into the mercenary camp, which looked like a tent, essentially. So this is a slave, very cheap unit. You can build that very quickly, and it can burn everything, essentially. But pretty useless globally. Now that's a horse archer. It's not that strong. The range is smaller than bowman, But what's interesting is you're able to move around and shoot at the enemy while moving, which can be very good at just messing around armored units. So you just stay out of range and you can harass them very well. That's a Sassanid Knight. This is probably similar to the Templar Knight. It's just heavily armed, and this is a mercenary. So, but I'm not sure how different that is. We can actually check that here. What's sprint attack? And if we compare this with the Templar.
My sword is yours.
Nope.
We march.
Well, I guess assuming that they don't change the definition. Yeah, they don't seem to. Essentially, they are similar. It's just the cost and the requirement to build them, which is different. Now, these are assassin. And what's interesting about that unit is that they are actually able to climb a wall, which is rather cool. But as to be very effective, I'm not sure about it. Now these guys, they are oil pot thrower, and they can throw pots that burn, and fire is actually really effective no matter the kind of enemy unit that you have. Now this guy here is a slave driver. And he's actually boosting the defense of slaves. So you can see here the boost. Here, that's a healer. Healer will heal people, but it takes a while, so sometimes it's faster to produce more troops than heal them. Now this one is a whirling dervish. I'm not sure what it's good for. Can sprint and attack area. So I guess if you send these in melee in the middle of an enemy formation, it's good. These are Arabian swordsmen, very similar to the swordsman here. And now let me just verify the state of my siege here. Okay, I seem to be fine. Okay, let's go back here. So these are the units that you can produce as mercenaries here and as regular units here, except the Lord. So here, what do we have here? These are actually siege equipment, and you can have the ballista here, which can fire actually disease animals, and you can affect the health of the defenders. It's not that well. It has a very good range, but I don't find it particularly effective so far. Here you have a burning cart, which I actually never used, but normally I guess if you send that against the enemy building, it probably start burning all over the place. Now this is a mantlet. This is a kind of protection for your troops, so you can put some troops behind, and I suppose this thing will absorb a good portion of the enemy fire. Now this one is here, that's Yusit War Wagon. Now this thing is super useful because you can put 6 soldiers in it, which will be protected from any damage. So that's a cool thing. Very useful to move around your bowmen. And as soon as the cart is destroyed, well, you just your troops are just out there. So for rangers, they are actually it's a really good idea to put them into that kind of vehicle.
Engineers at your service.
Now what's that? That's a werewolf. It's a big catapult. Nothing special about it other than being big and more resistant than the other catapult here. This is a catapult, so it's a smaller model. You can produce more, I guess, but I guess this one probably has a longer range, while this one you'll be in range of the enemy bowman. Here a ballista, a fire ballista, so you can put in fire the enemy buildings and that kind of stuff. And a battering ram, so you pretty much have all the stuff that you need for a siege. Now the only thing missing, which was in the original game, was the ladders. And I don't remember if there was an actual siege tower, but I guess these are the only thing missing. Other than that, what's going on here? So my defender on that tower are slaughtering the incoming enemies. And you can see that, I don't know if you did notice, but it took a lot of arrows to kill those guys. Just look at everything which comes down there. So this game it's really a game it's a new game in 3D, but the principle which are used to play it are really old style. So it's and I think that was also the aim of this game, to create a game which has that style. And I guess they did succeed. At first, I must say that I was a little puzzled by that choice, but I understand the choice, and over time you end up accepting it. But it's clear that it's a game which is very specific, and it feels like a game that has a classical type of RTS experience. I can see that the enemies are using a lot of catapult to actually break through my wall, but because they don't have any troops anymore, I guess I can simply repair as they destroy, which is a bit of an absurd thing, but I'm fine with it. It's just that you cannot rebuild if they have troops here. But usually at range of catapult you can rebuild. And also, well, I guess here my tower is starting to be rather damaged, so I will remove my troops from there. And I will destroy the tower and rebuild it so that it's in good shape, like this. And this ensure that my fortification is able to resist the enemy. I can also put some brazier here, which allows my bowmen to fire arrows, which is a welcome thing. There's many cool things in this game. It's very well thought. I think what I'll try to do now is I will actually, first of all, you can see my ally here is sieging stuff. I think I will actually build a horde of assassin, which I never tried before. So you can see here actually that there's very little unit collision. They are all bunched up, like it used to be in the original Stronghold. So I think what I'll do here is I will actually move all the way, not here, but here. Because that's one of the enemy. Each enemy have a different style of playing. So I guess you need to adapt yourself. I did try to attack that fort before, because this game has been going on for a while. And I haven't had much success. So, because they are well defended, while this one is rather badly defended, so I will actually attempt to make a ninja attack on him. Not ninja, assassin, sorry, wrong content.
We are under attack. Recruits needed.
I'm also recruiting a large amount of knights and one bowman, why not?
My noble lord.
The boys are in good order, sir.
And I'll bring some siege
At
equipment.
your disposal. Setting off now.
As you can see here, the ballista, you need to change the state. Now these troops were lightly armored, so you can see that they died very quickly.
Your grace?
This building
I guess I could probably bring these, but I don't see why I should do that. Now you might briefly notice that there's a few lions which sometime attack my town. And I'm not sure where they come from because usually they come from buildings. Well, buildings. That's a natural feature of the place. And usually they, well, I destroyed the old. Oh, it must come from here. You can see there's just one that emerged, and he's actually attacking the enemy soldiers. So I guess probably, ideally speaking, I should destroy this. Actually, these are not enemy soldiers; they are my allies. Now this is a pretty early scenario, so it's certainly not that hard, but I guess each new scenarios they get harder, and for different reasons. In this case, what was hard is the fact that this faction here keep attacking you, while this one is rather weak. It's one of the weaker enemy as far as I know. So I will get rid of him first before changing my orientation over here and destroy this guy. Hopefully, if everything goes well.
We march to battle.
And now normally with this amount of troops I should be able to get rid of the enemy, hopefully. Here I will rebuild a few iron exploitation.
Place that there, my lord.
Okay, so I'm using the burning cart to burn the buildings here. Hopefully that will work.
A message from the rat.
Happening to our noble family.
What's the plan? Engineer detachment.
Now you can see that the fire is actually spreading. There's a few well that can actually stop the fire.
Preparing. Set us a task. At your disposal. Our tools are ready. My noble lord.
The Sultan's troops are attacking.
Eager to work. Calculating.
Yeah, I think this game has been going on for so long that I might be a little overly prepared here. But I wanted to show you all the units you can have in there.
Begone from the sight of my castle immediately, you wretched peasant.
Our fates are entwined.
Now you can see that it is rather chaotic down here.
Set us a task.
You are the greatest lord.
An ox tether is required to bring stone to the stockpile.
Eager to work.
Okay, I'll try to break through and attack this lord. I think it's clear that I'm overly prepared here. I will order my assassin to climb the wall, which I haven't done yet. You can see they're throwing stuff to uselessly climb and jump on the other side so they can attack further, which they probably won't be able to because they're too weak now.
Just say the word. Cut them down. Set us a task. Engineers at your service.
Now with that amount of Knight Templar, it's unlikely that they'll be able to resist this.
Rangers ready, sir. Bows ready. Take out that target.
So you can see that that was victory.
Estates. Just don't hurt me.
Now that's the rat, and as far as I know, he's one of the weakest guy.
Your Grace? Walking off? You need something?
You are my liege, Lord.
As you defeat your enemies, there's a statue of them or you. I'm not sure. But I did lose all my assassins, so that's a little sad.
Recruits needed, sire.
I will replace them and charge the other place. Where am I going? Okay, I'm over here. So let's go here. And we'll be able to attack
My sword?
the remaining enemy from here. Now, of course, that game took me a long time. That's a few hours before reaching that state. It takes a while to build such an army.
What's afoot,
So
sire?
here I will actually bring my other troops. I will send my lord back into his keep.
Ready, sir. To victory!
And it's kind of important to keep a good defense even though you're attacking, because sometimes in some scenario there's a lot of enemy that can just pop up out of nowhere because it's part of the scenario. Now my ally keeps attacking this place without much success. It's because this fort, while it's rather small, it's actually well defended. It has some mangonel and 2 of them in the front here. So a lot of mercenaries in there. Most of the enemies seem to be using mercenaries.
Press on!
Alright, so I'll charge with my assassin and hopefully they'll be able
We
to
are not afraid.
attack, well, climb the walls. I can see the difference in speed of each of my units that I
We must
deployed.
not falter.
Some of them are
We
much
fight
slower.
on.
We see them, sire.
What's the plan? What's the plan?
We are under attack. This building
Heading off.
So apparently the climbing of the wall from my assassin did not go too well.
Your Grace?
I follow your banner.
Onward!
This way!
How can we help? Our tools are ready.
ما هي أوامرك؟ History awaits us.
Okay, let's make our way to that enemy over there.
How can we help?
Well, my troops are receiving a lot of arrows, but hopefully they'll survive. Some of my troops are being distracted. You can see some of my dervish, I think? Whirling dervish,
What's
yeah.
the plan?
But he died now.
الفرسان
The thing is that in this game everybody end up dying very quickly, which is rather special. There's a lot of defender here. I'm not sure I'll be able to beat all this. But it's clear that the Knight Templar are a rather strong unit. But the fact that I'm ignoring the entire rest of the place might not be a good idea.
نحن مستعدون للقتال.
Yeah, I think Knight Templar will be not. It won't be enough for this.
Peasants needed, sire.
So it is time to build some more.
A message from the Shah.
The Shah's flag flutters proudly today. A lovely green one. We go to battle.
So I did manage to make a hole here, but I did not manage to kill everything that was in there.
I follow your banner.
Now notice the amount of arrows falling on that guy.
You do not have enough gold to train this unit.
So I built a couple of Sergeant at Arm, and these actually increase the armor of your troops, which can be a very good use here.
Right is on our side. Follow the standard.
I can see that my ally is actually making a big push on the enemy castle. And I do need perhaps some siege equipment.
You do not have enough gold to build this equipment.
How can we help?
Now you can see that there's a large amount of bowmen here, which are attacking, and even though they are much more than the defender in the short area, they probably will all die because being in the fortress is really giving you a big advantage in this. Now that is one of the silly thing in this game, is how you can have an entire army just fitting on 2 meters. It's because the character collision in this just doesn't exist or something, and I think that's something which it's part of the series since the beginning, but I would like this to be a little different, let's say, especially with all the games nowadays that actually do work differently.
Ready, sir.
But I think it's clear that this is a choice which was made for
Catapult ready,
the
my
reason
lord.
of being loyal to the original game, so...
Victory will be ours. Take them out! You need something according to plan. Lead us. Victory will be ours.
Okay, so normally by destroying this small building, I suppose, or
Sire,
lion den,
not sure how, sire.
there won't be any more lion, I hope.
Catapult ready, my lord. Leave none standing. What's the plan? Preparing.
Well, here, with this amount of very expensive unit, I hope to be able to pierce through. Especially since each of these Sergeant at Arm actually increase the armor of everybody. That's the theory of it.
the Sultan.
I will attempt to destroy that tower, which seemed a little difficult perhaps.
Come to our walls. We are not afraid.
I notice how they prioritize shooting my catapult. Yeah, that's also one thing. Here you have fire mangonel, I think. And by having your troops so bunched up like this, you really are exposed to that kind of danger.
A message from the Sultana.
Yeah, well,
I do not fear.
that was it. Now that went a little easy, but usually it's a little harder because I had just elite troops essentially. And you can see
We
the
are
enemy floating.
victorious, sire.
So actually you can see here that the game lasted long enough for me to kill 1,967 enemies, and I lost 500, so that's a lot. I lost 23 building, I destroyed 49, I did 32,000 gold, highest population 100, food, I produce quite a bit of food, and what is this weapon? I did produce 1,690 weapon, that's quite an army there. And yeah, I did produce a lot of stuff. So the thing is that, oh, I really was powerful there compared to the others. But the thing is that this game, it's I might not have shown you much of what it's really about, which is building stuff and managing the economy. But I think I pretty much did a good tour of what it is. I think this game might be worth getting if you would like to just relax. You know, this is a kind of a relaxing game. The music is also pretty good, even though I did not put it in there. And it's a good entertainment. But it's clear that there's not many people playing multiplayer. And I'm pretty sure that once you complete all this, probably will stop playing for a while unless you're into really building awesome castle. Anyway, so here, for example, you have a few sandbox environment where you can build really big stuff, and I believe there's also an editor, and there's the possibility of having community map also. But yeah, it's a good series of game, and I guess it might be worth getting at some point. And I hope this actually helped you to make a decision about that. And that will be it for me. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys on my next video.